No, 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 no!
This demon got a name?
No.
But of course we're talking about Vergil. Hey guys, it's ICapNex here, and today I'm going to talk about this man, this half-demon destroyer of downloadable content for special editions. The man who always comes late to the party, after all he cannot throw those bashes very well. While I have close to no complaints about Vergil in Devil May Cry 5, I do have several regarding his moveset, which was inherited from his appearance in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and by default DMC Devil May Cry. DMC changed Vergil in many ways since Devil May Cry 3. First of all, let's take a look at how he used to move back in 2005. Okay, I'll slow down with myself, if I try. As you see, every attack feels heavy and straightforward. The downside is that it is very limited. In 2015, DMC4 got the special edition treatment, Vergil got upgraded with super damaging moves, and his Yamato moveset received a very big upgrade. However, most of his movements came from Dante or DMC Devil May Cry Vergil. His once iconic rapid slash became so fast it almost feels like he loses his footing after the attack, which is something that came in Devil May Cry DMC's playable Vergil. The boss version, however, still maintains his direction like Devil May Cry 3, and you can see right here the differences. One could argue that since Devil May Cry 4 Vergil takes place before Devil May Cry 3, he was still learning, but that argument goes out the window when Devil May Cry 5 keeps that same animation, so yeah. From the rapid slash you can take it to the air with Rising Star, a move that spirals up to launch the enemy. I have a big problem with Vergil spinning in several moves because it doesn't feel like something the character would do. Spinning, while being a cool trick, is much more something Dante would do and not someone so calm and collected like Vergil. But then of course I'm reminded of the lunar phase that Vergil did against Beowulf, as you can see here, and that comment goes right through the window, so it evolved into personal nitpicking. The spinning is also very noticeable with his Yamato plus Force Edge attacks, whereas in Devil May Cry 3 he only had a 2-hit strike. Devil May Cry 4 has him shred the enemy to pieces with a million strikes attack, ending with a spinning attack with both swords which a cool pose at the end, similar to the one he uses in the cutscene. Cutscene that I might add that also has a lot of unnecessary spinning, but then again he is surrounded by enemies, so it makes sense. I feel like this combo perfectly encompasses what I'm trying to talk about here. I mean, I get the move's reused asset from Dante, but doesn't explain why Vergil would do the same thing with First Edge. But of course in Devil May Cry 4 we had mods to make it like it was before. I even made a video on that. That landing pose is in its nature similar to his Helm Breaker with the Yamato, which is definitely one of my biggest nitpicks I have regarding Devil May Cry 5 version of Vergil. It is obviously from Devil May Cry DMC, but that isn't the main problem. The problem you see is the damn time that Vergil stays in the air before striking down. That thing always bugged me from the first time he used it on me. I mean, what the hell? At least in the gameplay of DMC Devil May Cry, Vergil doesn't linger in the air like the boss version does. He simply appeared and attacked. His style was him vanishing. In Devil May Cry 3, Moveset Helmbreaker was fast, very fast. The boss would chop you down should you stand still. Helmbreaker spends Vergil's speciality, and that was boggled down in Devil May Cry 5. Granted, he teleports closer to the ground, but still, it embodies the most of my complaints from DMC Final Boss. It just irks me to no degree to see it again in Devil May Cry 5. He should be fast and relentless, but no, he has to linger in the air before striking. But let's move on. Once again we return to his aerial rave. It was perfect and flawless in Devil May Cry 3. Dante even uses it as his own in Devil May Cry 4, albeit with a little less impact. But of course it was incredibly hard to expand upon since he had only 2 strikes. Not to mention that the second hit of the aerial rave has, in my opinion, the most stylish way Vergil sheathes his sword. I mean, look at this. DMC Devil May Cry gave 3 hits and granted the spinning in 2 other different moves. All those hits were implemented in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and Devil May Cry 5, whereas the original aerial rave animation became the Judgment Count in the air. Again, I can understand the reasoning behind that, but to remove from his most iconic aerial move was a very poor decision that still makes me sad. It is worth noting that DMC5 changed the third and final hit of the Aerial Rave for the final hit of the Orbit/Aerial Rave B from Devil May Cry 4, efficiently removing one move and making that attack animation the same final hit for both of his aerial combos. I'm sure such triviality will be fixed via modding as it was in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition once Vergil hits the officially playable version in Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, whenever that comes. Vergil DLC when. But we cannot end this without talking about his special moves. Vergil has entered the realm of Sparta and Dante with his Devil Sword Dante, and they gave him a very awesome Sin Devil trigger to match. Naturally that should come with a special ability, so what did they do? Doppelganger. Apparently Yamato can create a doppelganger out of energy. I would be more okay with it if it wasn't for the obvious DMC Devil May Cry callback that just left me sad upon realization. I did like, however, the callback to his Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 appearance with his Devil Trigger pose. You think I would not catch that? After that was said and done, I asked myself, what would be a good replacement for that in this climax of this epic battle? And I gotta say I was left with no answer, so I will ask you, what would be a good ability for Sin Devil Trigger to replace the doppelganger that we got? I feel the need to mention that I do not despise the DMC Devil May Cry in its entirety. For instance, I really like Vergil's combo 8, which is named Crosscut, and Demon 3-hit combo that did not make into 4 Special Edition and 5. I genuinely like that one. It feels 3 heavy, solid hits that he should have. Fits him. Speaking of which, the Yamato Combo A in 4 Special Edition uses mostly the same moves as the Crosscut, the Devil Trigger version, only changing the poses here and there a little bit. Since we're here, might as well give my opinion on the upper slash. Like many, I too am extremely disappointed with the removal of the follow-up from Devil May Cry 3. In exchange, however, we are now able to jump up with the move and go into the air. At first, I was a little sad with the new animation that it got, but after consideration, I've come to enjoy Vergil's precise move. He slashes up while looking down, maintaining his pose. It feels more like him. Instead, in Devil May Cry 3, he kinda just goes all the way and changes his body position, but then he goes back and crosses down. Okay, I'm split. I even went as far to get the mod to replace the Devil May Cry 4 version of the upper slash with the one from DMC Devil May Cry. Since we're literally one move left, I'm gonna say my opinion on Yamato Combo C. I don't like how he sheaths the sword, because he does it just like Dante did in Devil May Cry 4. I get why they did that when porting animations, but come on. Devil May Cry 5 should have the way he originally did it back in Devil May Cry 3, which was more natural. Here it just feels forced. I'm including the clip of Yamato Combo A because he sheaths it like he did in Devil May Cry 3. So it's not like there isn't the animation, so I wonder why they chose the one that they did. Now that all the normal moves are out of the way, we can return to the special moves. Judgment Cut End returns from Devil May Cry 4 with a slight drawback. It now has a clear, circle area of effect. I see why they did it, as since if it did have unlimited forward range, we as players would be dead a lot more often. But I have to agree that the effects now look outstanding. Though I do severely miss the Judgment Cut span he used to do in Devil May Cry 3, Barrel guarding that shit was one of the highlights of my career. I also miss the Judgment Cut span followed by that damn nasty stinger with the Force Edge.
Crazy. This may be fun. Don't get so cocky. Rash.
Now he does about 5 Judgment Cuts and that's about it. So disappointing. But he does have a new ability. Yes, Vergil can now fly. While this attack is completely badass, especially when he destroys the background, it doesn't make any sense. You are only allowed to get hit by this attack on purpose, because seriously, it's so easy to dodge. Most of us would try to block it, or because jumping away is too damn easy. I honestly don't know what they were thinking when making this attack. Not to mention that he charges this attack, this flight, for some reason when the cutscene they just go. He and Dante, I mean. Even if there were no charging involved in this attack, it would still be very easy to dodge. So seriously, I don't understand. We are talking about a man that is very unlikely to go into a fight head first, and yet in this attack is exactly what he does. In retrospect, I'm very disappointed with this. I was very excited when I first dealt with it because it was new, but now, it feels much more frustrating, I suppose. Well, this is all I have to say about this new powered up Vergil from Devil May Cry 5. I left the Yamato Stinger out because I have nothing to say about that move. It's simply amazing. I even scratched the side of my lady friend's arms while recording this. But no worries, she's okay as that thing is made out of PVC. But yes, bottom line is Vergil's back, but he certainly doesn't feel like he's back gameplay wise. I'm extremely disappointed that they went through all that ordeal and he has very little new stuff to show for with Yamato. It's like a downgrade from his Devil May Cry 3 boss fight. Either way, this is the beef. I will now cook it up and eat it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.